The words, "We have to let you go," hung in the stale air of the conference room. Mr. Henderson, my boss, didn't even look up from his screen. He just tapped his expensive pen on the polished table. "It's not personal, Mike. It's just restructuring." My stomach dropped. Restructuring, the corporate word for "you're out." I'd given this company, this marketing firm, 5 years of my life. I'd worked weekends, I'd missed family dinners, and now, on a rainy Tuesday, I was being restructured by a man who still called me Mike, even though my name is Mark. "You can clear out your desk," he said, finally looking at me. His eyes were cold, like a shark's. "HR will email you the details." I just nodded, my throat too tight to speak. As I walked back to my desk, the rest of the office was pretending not to watch. That's the worst part, isn't it? The quiet sympathy, the "glad it's not me" looks. I grabbed this sad little cardboard box from under my desk and started packing my mug, a few books, and a framed photo of my dog. Humiliation burned in my chest. Henderson thought I was just a cog in his machine, a replaceable part. But as I unplugged my laptop, I felt a tiny, secret smile creep onto my face. Because Henderson, in his rush to restructure, had forgotten something. He'd forgotten about the Project Atlas file. Project Atlas was my baby. For the last 6 months, I'd been working on it in secret. It was a new digital tool, a way to track customer engagement that was 10 times more accurate than anything we were currently using. I built it from scratch in my spare time. I'd tried to show it to Henderson twice, but he'd waved me off. "Not interested in pet projects, Mark. Focus on the quarterly reports." He was all about quick, flashy wins. He never cared about the deep, technical stuff. So I kept working on it. I polished it. I perfected it. And I never saved it on the company servers. It lived on one single, unmarked USB drive. My hand closed around that drive, which was sitting in my pen cup. I looked over at Henderson's glass office. He was already on the phone, probably laughing. He thought he'd just saved the company some money by cutting my salary. He had no idea he'd just let a multi-million-dollar idea walk out the front door. I dropped the USB drive into my pocket, picked up my box, and didn't look back. The first 2 weeks were tough. I updated my resume. I worried about my rent. The rejection emails piled up. The little bit of savings I had was disappearing, fast. On a Thursday, I was sitting at my kitchen table staring at another "thank you for your interest" email when I decided it's time. I took the USB drive, plugged it into my personal laptop, and opened Project Atlas. It was beautiful, sleek, fast, and smart. I spent the next 48 hours building a simple, professional website to showcase what it could do. I wrote a business plan. I wasn't just a fired employee anymore. I was a founder. I needed one big client to prove it worked. I knew exactly who to call. Stark Reed Financial. They were our biggest client. Or they were. I knew for a fact they were unhappy. Henderson had been promising them better results for a year and delivering nothing. I found the lead project manager, a woman named Sarah, on LinkedIn. I sent her a simple, professional message. "Hi, Sarah. I'm no longer with my old firm, but I've just launched a new tool I think could solve the exact engagement problem we discussed last quarter. Can I have 15 minutes of your time?" She replied in 10 minutes. "Yes, how about tomorrow?" The video call was set for 10 a.m. I wore my one good suit. My hands were shaking. "Okay, Mark," she said, looking tired. "I'm listening. Your old boss already tried to pitch us a new direction yesterday. It was not good." "This isn't a pitch, Sarah," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "This is a demonstration." I shared my screen. I opened Project Atlas. For 5 minutes, I just walked her through it. I showed her the live tracking, the predictive analysis, the clean dashboard. I showed her exactly how it would find the customers they were losing. There was total silence on the other end. When I finished, Sarah was leaning into her camera, her eyes wide. "Mark," she said slowly, "where has this been? This is everything. This is what we've been asking for." "It's something I've been working on," I said, trying to sound casual. "Henderson never mentioned this," she said, her voice sharp. "He wasn't interested." Sarah was quiet for a long moment. "Mark," she said, a small smile playing on her lips, "send me a proposal, not just for this tool. I want a 1-year contract for you and this tool to manage our entire digital portfolio." I almost choked. Yes, absolutely. "And Mark," she added, "make sure you charge what you're worth. I have a feeling you've been undervalued for a long time." A month later, I was sitting in my new home office, a real office, not just the kitchen table. My company, Atlas Analytics, had just landed Stark Reed. The contract was worth more than I used to make in 3 years. My bank account, for the first time in my life, looked healthy, really healthy. My phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, a text popped up. It was from Mr. Henderson. "Mark, call me. We need to talk. I just got off the phone with Sarah at Stark Reed. They're terminating their contract. They said they're going with a new vendor. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?" I read the text. Then I read it again. I thought about the rainy Tuesday, the cold-eyed dismissal, the humiliation of that cardboard box. I took a sip of my coffee. Then I deleted the message, blocked his number, and got back to work.